guys, Kamina the Koach here, back at the falls, different location at the falls. I really needed this today, so this video is going to be about, if you've not been following me, I've been on a radical healing journey. I have been taking large doses of of psilocibin. Psilocibin is the active, the psychedelic ingredient in magic mushrooms, and I've been on this radical healing journey because I am a late discovery, transracial, biracial adoptee who just has some issues just by nature of being adopted, and especially being a late discovery and being raised by white people. So without further ado, so my last session was 3 weeks ago. I think this Friday made 3 weeks, might be just 2 weeks. Everything feels so I'm still kind of lost on time. Time is something that kind of happens in these ceremonies, but I still see a difference. I think it is getting close to time to do another ceremony, but I'm trying to be patient with myself. So my therapist suggested, because my journey now, so my message, my first ceremony was you're safe. Second ceremony, the message was it doesn't have to hurt to heal. The last ceremony, the big one, was it's about love. So worthiness and loving myself, I need to set boundaries and really, really need to learn how to hone my intuition. I've met a very special kindred spirit, and I wasn't ready to do this right now, but the universe said you gotta, because it kind of forced me in that direction of really learning to set strong boundaries and sticking to them, and not necessarily strong boundaries, like even having grace with myself if I break a boundary, or if I let a boundary down when I said it was up. So I was really hesitant to just to work on all this stuff, but meeting this really special person has reinvigorated my desire to work on this. I knew from the ceremonies that I needed to. My body was just very resistant, and I know from being around this person, they're also highly intuitive, very sensitive, that I need to work on my intuition, because I really got to figure out what's me and what's other people, and being able to guard my energy from other people's energy. So my therapist, when I presented her with all of this stuff, my therapist suggested, so the big message of this video, if you take nothing else from it, is take everything that everyone says with a grain of salt. Even though people can relate to your journey, it's not their journey. So I love my therapist. She's an awesome person, and she's adoption informed, but she's not an adoptee. So because she is not an adoptee, let me back up. So she recommended a cord cutting ceremony. So in theory, and it sent a shock of electricity through my body just now when I said it, and I'm not sure why I didn't pay attention to why it is so unsettling before I did it. So today is November 21st, 2021. We just had a blood moon and a full moon. So these two back to back, the blood moon eclipse and the full moon, a really, really powerful full moon. So my primary care physician is also a holistic healer. She's a nurse practitioner, Reiki master. She has an amazing website, and her website drew me to a house for people who are grieving, and they were having a full moon labyrinth walk. So I was like ordained, supposed to be there, because I couldn't do a fire outside where I live. So cord cutting ceremony, wow, electricity zipping through my body again. Cord cutting ceremony, essentially wrapping up all those energetic cords that are tied to you from all the people's energy that doesn't serve you. That's what the cord cutting is about. And if you don't have, I didn't have scissors, so I used a knife. And yeah, and so I symbolically, so wait, back up. So I got to the venue last night, and it was beautiful in the desert. It's an overcast night, so I was really disappointed about that. I really wanted to see the moon. I wanted to commune with the moon and ask, why hast thou forsaken me? Because it's been a really weird week. The moon's been pulling on me a lot. So yeah, so got there. My primary care even had a gong out there, and that was a really powerful, I've never been in the presence of a healing gong before. So as I would pass by there, I would stop and let it vibrate through my body. So on the out, as you're going in, your intention is to cut, or whoops. As I was going in, my intention was to cut, and then, ooh, wow, no, sorry. As I was going in, my intention was to cut, middle was to rest, and then on the way out, filling up what you've taken away. So the cutting part was relatively easy. I did feel some resistant ties, which was very interesting. Some not intensely, but I felt some resistant ties. And it really hit me hard. So my intention to fill up those ties was, I wanted to fill myself back up with worthiness and intuition, knowledge of my intuition. And it shocked me that it made me cry. It was really uncomfortable, and let me know that I still have some worthiness issues to work on. It was really uncomfortable, and when I was done, I was left feeling very empty and dark and sad, and I didn't know. My therapist was like, oh, when I did it, I could feel it right away. I felt this relief and blah, blah, blah. But again, best intentions, but she's not an adoptee, right? So I'm not even thinking about what this represents to the baby in me that remembers being cut from my mother and taken away from her. I had not been considerate, and I wasn't listening to her. So it left me very like knowing I need to work on my intuition more, because I was like, what of this is mine? What is other people? Because these are all grieving people. So one person who came felt like he was holding some darkness with him in addition to his grief. And I don't know that to be true, because my intuition is just all over the place. So that's why I'm working to rein in my intuition. I do feel lucky, though, that my therapist did recognize that my intuition is mine, and she can't direct me on how to develop my intuition, because my intuition is very personal and private. It's me. So I appreciate that she didn't try to give me advice in that regard. I do feel like the cord cutting was necessary and very important. However, going into it as an adoptee who has been so deeply affected by adoption, I think that I should have been more cognizant of the fact that that it was going to affect me differently than it affected her, and it was going to have a deeper impact on me than it did on her. So let me back up just a little bit and let you know another big success in all of this is that I've cut ties to somebody, a partner that I'd been off and on with for almost 20 years, probably 20 years. We've been off and on in a very toxic relationship. I still love the person very much. They're the closest thing to family probably that I've ever had. I still love them, but this relationship, this unhealthy bond, is no longer served either one of us. So, yeah, we had a talk on Friday. This is Sunday. We had a talk on Friday the day before the cord cutting ceremony, to just talk about where I'm at in my healing journey, and just, to let them know that this relationship is just no longer serving me, and it's time to let it go. And they received it very well, and I was very thankful for that. And so that was a really big thing for me, and I believe that is residual effect of the mushrooms. I believe that there was significant trauma locked in my body from that relationship, and I believe that my second ceremony released that trauma, and not necessarily healed it, but released it so that I could process it and heal from it. And yeah, it's time to go. And we had some tears, but and he messaged me again yesterday and like, oh, well, it's sad to think about leaving you, and I want to see you one more time. And the old me would have given in, but the new me is like, no, you deserve more. This doesn't serve you. So, some real results from, the psilocibin. I just got another batch in. I'm really looking forward to my next ceremonies, which will probably be centered around race and money. I've got 2 ceremonies coming up. I'll probably do those 2 weeks back to back. And then we'll see how I'm feeling, but I'm thinking actually about sharing an experience with the kindred spirit that I've met. So we'll see how I'm feeling then. But he actually wanted to do that before, but I told him, I still have work to do. Me and the medicine have work to do individually, and I can't invite him into that space until I've processed some more, done some more work. I will also let you know that I've shared with a friend, a very sweet person whose husband is suffering trauma, and I was really kind of afraid that he was going to die. Not kill himself on purpose, but actually killing himself because of the pain and suffering. So I had gotten them some, and her husband actually did a microdose, so he only did 1 gram, and there was no psychedelic effect, but a noticeable difference during the week. So that's very, very promising. And so I went ahead and gifted her the rest of that batch that I had, and hopefully today will be his big ceremony so he can begin his healing journey. So I'm excited about that, and excited about the potential of becoming an integration partner and coach. I'm just feeling better. It's really interesting. Even in the darkness, I feel better. I handle the darkness better. I was engulfed by darkness yesterday, and it's lingering a little today. But I just feel better. I'm handling it better. I guess my intuition is developing because I knew I needed to be here at the falls today. I knew I needed to send this message out into the world. So the biggest thing I think that you should take from this, and that I want to continue to let people know over and over again, is that your journey is your journey. You need to study as much as possible. Study, study, study. Take everything that you learn with a grain of salt, and learn to listen to that quiet voice inside that tells you what's right for you, because all of the answers, all of the healing, everything is right there inside of you already. Also, lean to love. That's always, you can't go wrong there. Lean to love. And on that beautiful note, I am sending you love, light, peace, and joy. Kamina the Koach, I'm out.